All right, welcome to Totally Clutch, the Clutch Businesses podcast and vlog. I'm Angie Viehman with Clutch Businesses, and today I am so excited. We've got Bryant with us, and she is going to be talking to us about the platform, the program, the software, the awesome resource that she built called AngelRated. And what AngelRated does is it is a product review site. So it helps small businesses, and the reason why she started it, and she'll tell you all about that, though, is to help businesses avoid spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on just a ton of money on finding the right products for their business, finding the right designers, finding the right trainings. So as an entrepreneur, it's so important to have a coach supporting you in your journey, to have resources and people that have your back. And it's also really challenging to find the right people for that. So Angela is on a mission to fix all of that for us, to make it a whole lot easier. So welcome to Totally Clutch, Angela.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome to have you here. Would you tell us just a bit about your background and how you came to found AngelRated?
Of course. So I had a corporate background originally. So I had a corporate career and then suffered burnout, as many people seem to do. And I joined the sort of online business world in 2013, so 8 years ago now. Pretty much accidentally, but I was blown away by the fact this whole world existed, that I could then go and build a new business online. And I started working with entrepreneurs using my corporate background to help people launch their products, launch their courses. I did some health coaching and some training. And then I went traveling in 2017 with my husband, a bit of a gap year, very old. And while we were traveling, we were using review sites every single day. We were using TripAdvisor and Yelp and different equivalents to look to where we should stay, where we should go for dinner, what we should do the next day. And at the same time, I was still working. I was sort of working online, working on my business for clients. And it was one of those things that really just hit me one day. It's like, where on earth is the TripAdvisor equivalent for online businesses? And I suddenly realized, I started searching, realized it didn't exist anywhere, and thought somebody should build this. And then I thought, maybe I should build this. So that's where it came from.
That's awesome. Yeah, what an amazing. Yeah, I love how those light bulb moments, right? They come to us. That's cool. Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about the site? I mean, you know that you've given us an overview of it, but really, what kinds of things can people find on there? How do they use it? All that good stuff.
There's all sorts of different types of products on there. So I've tried to split them down into different categories. So there's the sort of tools and software that you might use, like your email marketing system, your social media scheduling tool, your appointment scheduling tool. So all those sort of tools and software things. There are then online courses. There are coaches, so business coaches that might work with you. There are like experts and sort of done with you or done for you services. So people that might build your website, or who might do your graphic design, or run your Facebook ads for you. And then it's got a few sort of real life products. So things like, your podcasting mics, or your journals or planners, that sort of thing. So it's sort of trying to cover all the different things that you might use to build a business. Awesome. And in terms of how you use it, it's got a search function that is always improving. And you can just you can search by category. You can go in and say, I'm looking for a course on Facebook ads, or a course on Pinterest marketing, or you can look for an expert on Pinterest marketing, or a tool for social media scheduling. You can sort of do combinations and search, and it will give you a long list of all the different tools so far listed. And you can filter those and sort them and see whether they're free or whether you pay for them, how much they are, and whether they're aimed at beginners or more advanced people. And then you can read reviews that other online business owners have written about their experience with that tool, or with that course, or with that coach. So it's all the information you need to help you make decisions and find a product that's perfect for you and your growth of your business.
That's great. That's really awesome. I guess so. One of the biggest questions that I have is that one of the things that I see kind of in this coaching industry, in this I guess I don't see it so much in the tools industry, but definitely in the coaching industry. It seems like the person that's talking the loudest, the person that's making the biggest promises, is the person that's getting the most clients, right? Or they're getting the most people to sign up for their programs, but they don't necessarily deliver on the results that they promise. And I guess I'm curious but because of this following that they have, because of all of the people that are signing up, they can spend more and more and more to get more and more people. And so you're seeing them all over the place, right? But there aren't people necessarily getting the results. So I guess I'm curious, and I should put a huge caveat on that to say that not everything is, not everybody is like that. But I guess I'm curious how with AngelRated, or I guess if you've seen that, if you've experienced that, and how is AngelRated set up to allow some of the people that are actually providing a really great resource or product for people, but they don't have that, they don't have that same type of marketing. They don't have those same catchy phrases. How are you able to showcase them on AngelRated so that more people are finding them?
It's a really good question. And that's exactly, one of the reasons why I was so keen to set up in the first place, because I was seeing this situation where these people, these big names, were just getting all the traffic and all the referrals. And especially if they've got an affiliate scheme of some sort, then they get shouted about all the time. And all the medium or smaller or newly starting people just never get a mention. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, it's worth noting that some of those courses that have been around for a long time are probably quite out of date now. They may be updated each year, but they might still be just their approach is, they were built in a slightly different time. They were built when online businesses were still relatively new. So they sort of got a head start on everyone else. And there may well be others coming through with better ideas or who are more suited to what you're looking for, or something that's better now. In terms of smaller businesses, AngelRated is open and free for anyone to add their own services, their own courses, their own offerings, their done for you, done with you services. They can go on there, they can create an account, and they can get their business signed up. If they then did that and then told their clients that it was there for them to go and get reviews and get them added, then they would show up higher on any of the search results than some of those big courses. And I think now it's one of those things that is going to be more and more powerful in the coming years. I think ratings and reviews are going to become more and more important as online business grows and becomes more, the norm, and there's more people doing it. Mm-hmm. And I think getting in now as it's growing and getting that head start is going to be really, really important, so that you have already developed that foundation of really good reviews, or, whether it's a small number or a large number, just having something on there and some good ratings is going to really set you in a really good stead. The other thing I would say is that I love supporting smaller businesses, up and coming, building community, having people, lifting each other up. And I also have my own podcast. So I really like interviewing people who have a business and really trying to get behind that business and understanding what made them start it and what their values are and their mission and their vision and what they're trying to create, and understanding more about who the person is behind that business and whether they are interested in the biggest issues of our time and what they're doing, whether they give to charity, how their business is set up to support some of the causes that are going on. So that is a really good opportunity to get some more promotion. I'd love to have people on my show, but it gives people who are looking to decide, if they're trying to choose between coach A, B, and C, then if coach C has been interviewed on my podcast and it's on their listing, it really helps understand whether that's the sort of person you want to be working with. It gives another level, another dimension of information to really help people understand, whether that's somebody that they want to be giving their money to.
Yeah, that's great. That's really important. And I think, a lot of online businesses are so encouraged to, and understandably so, or rightly so, encouraged to draw testimonials, to get reviews, and so that they can put it on their site. But there isn't really a place for those to exist outside. So they're still really reliant on the traffic that's coming to their website. And that's not easy, that's not cheap. And so it's amazing for those to exist, to have an opportunity to exist somewhere else too.
Yeah, and I'd really pull apart thinking about reviews and testimonials as two different things, and that you do need both for your business, but they have very different, they do very different things in your business. So I think reviews are really excellent for delivering new leads to your website. So if you're on a review site, you've got multiple products to choose from, and then that will push through to your website. So leads are very good at doing that. Reviews are very good at doing that. And people trust them more because they're collected by an independent third party, and they are good and bad, and they haven't been edited, and there's large numbers and there's ratings. They're really good at being, they're very trustworthy, they're very easy to compare products, and the business really doesn't have any way of tampering with them, as it were. So, reviews are very much about that individual critical evaluation of service, whereas testimonials are far more about showing the excellence of something. They're very often asked for in a way that allows you to speak to pain points or to talk about overcoming objections. They're obviously owned by the business. They can be edited or, cherry picked. So you've got all the beautiful, wonderful testimonials that are on sales pages, and they work really well for getting somebody to buy once they're on your website. But they're, then less useful, I guess, for getting people to your website in the first place. So pulling those apart and thinking about the fact that you need both in your business is a really good way of looking at it. And definitely ask your clients for testimonials and things that you can then ask for in a really nice way, so that you get a really positive testimonial that you can use on your sales pages and your everywhere across your website, in your social media. But then also think about how you can get your clients to write reviews and get that onto an independent review site, so that it can then drive new leads into your business as well.
That's great. Yeah, that's really awesome. And that makes total sense. Thanks for clarifying those two things. What are some common things that people look for when they're searching for a new resource for their business or a new coach for themselves?
Ooh, I was thinking about this. So, I think it's slightly different maybe for some of the tools than it is for courses and coaches. But I think we quite often have a tendency to follow people online and be signed up to their newsletters, especially if we resonate with them. And then we're very reactive. So if they say, I've got a new course, I've got a new offer, and they put it out there and they've got all the wonderfully persuasive language, then we go, yes, I must have that now. But what we don't do is take that step back maybe at the start of a year or a quarter and say, what do I really need to learn to move my business forwards this year, this quarter, this month? Is it that I really need to know now about Pinterest marketing? Is that what's missing in my business and I need to learn that skill? If so, I would, my suggested approach would always be to think about what those skills are, or what those, what support you need. Do you need a coach? Do you need a community? Do you need an accountability person? What is it that you need to learn or support you need with your business? What are the criteria that you want? Are you looking for, I don't know, if it was a course, are you looking for something that's video based, that costs less than $100 and that is made for beginners and has some sort of community aspect to it? Or are you looking for something that's, I don't know, all audio based and costs $1,000, and it's for something more advanced? So really think about those criteria in advance, and then go and get a short list, and then go and, do your research and go and find out, what are the top 4 or 5 courses that either people would recommend that are on, directories and review sites, that other business colleagues and buddies would suggest to you, and then do your research to sort of narrow that down and work out what the leading contender is. So that's more proactive, and you are making that conscious choice of what you're looking for, what you're going for, and what's right for your business, rather than just that reactive, responsive, just because somebody is going, I'm selling this now, you must go and buy it, off you go, now's the exact time, you can't miss out or your business will fail. It's just flicking things around and think about it in a way that you would buy something else. If you were buying a new TV, or you were going out for dinner, you might go and look at a few different options and then work out which one suited your needs first, rather than responding to the one that you've seen the advert for.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that ties back to kind of what we were talking about at the beginning, that the people who are getting a lot of traffic, who are getting a lot of students, are people who are tapping into that insecurity, that or those insecurities, I guess, that already exist as entrepreneurs, right? Like, entrepreneurs are leaders. They are leading a business, they are leading an organization, they're leading their clients. And there are moments, usually when it's about us and our growth, that there are some vulnerabilities that pop up. There's some insecurities that pop up. And the marketing that is being used for these high traffic courses is really trying to get at that, right? And they're trying to evoke that emotional reaction instead of, and it works a lot. And it's so interesting because I'm sure that, entrepreneurs are messy to a certain extent, but for the most part in their businesses, they are being really strategic. But when it comes to them, it's, that emotional, that emotionality comes up, and it is really kind of being taken advantage of.
It's like we know all the tricks and we still fall for them anyway.
Totally. Yeah. It's
all that persuasion psychology. It's when we're using it, in our own businesses, which, some people use it to a greater or lesser extent, then we understand it and we know what we're trying to do, and we put in all these deadlines and timers and bonuses and, the testimonials and everything else. But when it's being done to us, we seem to forget that, we're falling into that same thing, and we just read it all and go, oh yes, I must buy this.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Where do you think that people usually look for these types of things? Is it really like word of mouth, or is it really just reactionary? So they're kind of reacting to what's being put in front of them.
I think it's partly reactionary, but I think quite often what seems to happen is that somebody goes into a Facebook group that they're part of that has other online business owners in it, and they say, can someone give me, a recommendation for a course on blah, or a coach on this particular subject? And what it tends to happen is it's always the same people that respond. It's either friends of the particular course or coach that they're recommending, or they're in a mastermind with them and they just big each other up, or it's ex-students. And, as you say, the bigger courses obviously then get more people responding to it, or it's affiliate links. There's people who want to share their affiliate link with you so that they get some money for it, and therefore they, say how wonderful something is. Or it's the really nice souls, the really good people who actually do want to share their experience and say what's happened. But what happens in these Facebook groups is that, the same questions get asked over and over and over again. It's like, which email marketing system should I use? Should I use MailChimp, or should I move to ConvertKit, or any one of the others? And it's all the same people keep responding, and it's, it's repetitive. And you could write a beautiful response to that lays out exactly why you should or shouldn't go, why you're suggesting a certain course. But actually, the next time somebody else asks, you have to write that again, or you have to write it again. So I think that's what happens most often. People go to Facebook groups, or they go to their business mastermind or their business coach or other business buddies that they have, and ask for recommendations. And when it's not that, it's obviously, it's advertising, it's Facebook ads, it's Instagram, it's what they're seeing out there that's sort of being put in front of them.
Yeah, that's interesting. So one of the things that I've noticed in Facebook groups, because I see this a lot too, that it's just like a constant barrage of what should I be doing? There's not a lot of clarity. The one thing that I've noticed about this is that there's not a lot of clarity from the people that are posting about what they should be looking for, or what exactly they are looking for. Do you have any recommendations for how people can get clear on those things? I mean, I'm sure that you kind of lay that out for people in the reviews on AngelRated, but is there a way that they can get clear on those things before they even start looking?
Yeah, well, to me, it's about thinking about those criteria about how you best learn, especially if it's a course, how you best learn, what budget you have. If it's a tool, thinking about how it's going to integrate with anything else you've got already, and what's important to you, does it fit with a certain website platform or a certain payment software. It's thinking about things like yeah, how you like to learn, what your experience level is. So whether you want something for beginners or advanced, it's, yeah, and there's lots of other things. You can just think about what those main criteria are, but it's really going through that and trying to do it in a logical, sensible way before getting sucked into everything.
Right.
Just taking that step back and taking a deep breath and going, yeah, what is it that I really need to know, and how do I want to learn it, or how do I want to, do I want a year-long mastermind that costs $20,000, or actually do I just need a business coach that I see once a month for an hour that's actually going to be a bit more hands-on?
Yeah, I mean, it's really taking ownership of the decisions, right, that we're making. And I mean, I guess that plays, that is the case in all parts of our lives. And I think with business, we're just willing to, I don't know what it is, but it feels like the same kind of ownership that we should and can be taking in all parts of our lives shows up a little bit here too.
I wonder if in some cases there's just, when you're first building a business, there's just so much going on. It's so hard, and there's so many decisions to make, and there's so many thought processes to go through. Maybe it's just because in some cases it's just a bit easier to outsource that, to not care about it and not think about it and just do what somebody else is telling you to do. If they're saying, come and buy this, it's just like, okay, that's easy. I will just go and buy that. And before you know it, you've spent thousands, and either it may have been a brilliant experience, or it may not have been something that was right for you.
Yeah, that's beautifully put. I mean, that I think you totally hit the nail on the head with that. Thank you for that. So what are your growth plans for AngelRated? So you said that it's been 4 years in the making, and what comes next?
Oh, so many ideas. So I mean, it's 4 years in the making. It's about 15 months since it was launched, and it's sort of a real slow growth, because obviously there are thousands of products out there, and I'm doing my hardest to add as many as I can and encourage as many people as possible to add theirs. Obviously, I would like to get all the tools that everyone uses added, all the courses, all the online courses that people have created, large or small, of every shape. I want them all on there. I'd like all the coaches and done for you service. I'd like to get them all on there. There's definitely functionality improvements. I mean, this is an incredibly complex sort of back end of the website. There's lots of things there I'd like to improve in terms of the search. It doesn't quite search in the way that you might expect it to if you were, using Google and you just sort of type something in, press return. It's sort of it's not quite as easy to use as that at the moment. So I really want to get that sort of thing added and improved. But longer term, clearly, I want it to become the TripAdvisor of the online business world, or have big ambitions for it. But one of the other things I really want to do is to use any money that comes in from it, or any earnings that income from it, to set up a foundation. So that's one of my longer term goals. So last year, in its first year of business, there was a small amount of income that came in through AngelRated, and I actually gave that away to charity. So I got anyone who'd written reviews. So for the number of reviews you'd written during the course of the year, you got that many sort of votes in a draw, and you got to nominate a charity that you would like the money donated to. So we then did a live draw, and we gave the income to charity. And so longer term, I'd like to do that on a much bigger scale and start a foundation. And I'm really interested in sort of looking into alternatives. So I have this sort of phrase around, like, what's the alternative? And this is about alternative health models, alternative energy, alternative schooling options, anything that's sort of like not following the beaten path and doing something that's a bit different to what everyone expects you to do, and different to what's pushed on you by government or by corporations, etc. So that's an area I'm really fascinated by, and it's been a lot of my background and my career and the choices I've made. So I really want to sort of get to a point where I can start funding research into all sorts of different alternative ways of living and working.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's a great bigger vision. That's really incredible. And I think it serves so many purposes, and it makes for such a thriving community all around. Yeah, great.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us. I mean, I am so excited about this tool. I think I don't know if I've shared this on Totally Clutch before, but I mean, I've been in this situation so many times where I've invested, receiving coaching is something that I value so much in my personal life and in my business life. And so I have, I've invested a lot of money into a lot of programs and a lot of resources, and, it has been hit or miss. And so I am really excited for people to have access to this, because I think it makes us stronger business owners. It makes us stronger community members. And it also has the potential, because of the way that you've set it up, it also has the potential to change the industry, to change the way that we are, being marketed to in these ways. So I think it's really powerful, and yeah, thank you so much for sharing it with us.
You're very welcome. I think that point about sort of leveling the playing field is really, really important to me. It's
huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
Well, great. Angela, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me on. It's been lovely.
Yeah, it really has. And thanks to everyone for watching, for being here today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode is posted. Rate and review this podcast and share it with all of your friends. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you're leaving with some great things that can help you move from hustle to flow, because I believe in you and your business. Until next time.